Hi, I'm Charles. Welcome to Work In, Work Out. On this channel, we like to work in and we work out. So today we're inside and we're doing a review of some trainers that are very special, close to my heart, so much so that I'm wearing one of the branded t-shirts for this particular person. You would have guessed who it is from the title of the video. Yes, it's Kobe the Mamba Bryant, or Black Mamba as some people would often refer to him. I'm going to show you what I think of these trainers. I'm going to show you what they look like. I think they're great, by the way, spoiler alert. And I'm just going to do a quick review, but also because I've played basketball in them, I'm well qualified to tell you how they perform as well, which is really important for some of you if you're thinking about perhaps trying to acquire some Kobe's either now or you're thinking about it. Okay, so without too much more preamble, let's get into it. Here they are. So these are the Kobe's. They are the, in front of the box, Kobe 9 Elite, colorway black metallic silver anthracite. Let's get them out. Let's have a look. Surprise there. Hopefully you can see those nicely. And I'll talk about these ones. So I'll start off with the box. It's a lovely pattern box. It's actually got the Kobe logo on it. So I never met Kobe during my time, but I did get to see him play a Lakers game at the London O2. Unfortunately, he was injured, so he came on the court and he did want to at least make some sort of show for the fans. So he came on the court for a couple of minutes, threw up about 3 or 4 3-pointers, bricked all of them. God, I love Kobe. May he rest in peace. Obviously, he was injured, so he should have been playing that time, but it was good to see him make an effort, and that's the kind of guy he was. And going to the logo, the sword and sheath. So this is the sword and sheath. It may not be obvious to a lot of you. When I saw it, I used to think it was like a snake that this was representing, like maybe the head of a snake with its 2 eyes and there's the body or something like that. Or maybe I thought, being a basketball man, that it represented the triple threat. So that being the ability when you grab the ball to either pass, dribble or shoot, and not letting your defender know each one, because as we know, Kobe was very good at the fundamentals of basketball. Turns out it was neither of those. This is actually the sword and sheath, and the 2 parts of each protruding part of this symbol represents 2 elements that he believes in. So one being the innate talent that person has, and the other side being the work ethic. And being sword and sheath, it's got influences of the samurai culture. So Kobe was always very much into that, and obviously his name being Kobe, maybe it's an association there with Japan. We know he's very big over there in East Asia. But yeah, so that's the box. It's got a pattern on the outside, which is rather interesting. I can't quite tell where it is. A lot of his patterns have usually got some kind of snake affiliation going on, like maybe it's the snake skin or something like that. On this one, it's a little bit harder to tell, but it does look nice nonetheless, and the purple offset against it is great. So that's the box. And on the inside, there's some sort of paper, so sort of that the trainers get wrapped in. It's got the sword and sheath logo on it, so you can check that out there. I did a review on the Jordan 6 rings, which were again one of my favourites, and with those ones that had one of the best sort of storytelling paper inserts that I've ever seen. This one's quite straightforward with just the sword and sheath Mamba logo. Okay, let's get into the trainers. So we call them trainers over here in the UK, by the way. Sneakers, shoes, hoops, hooping basketball shoes, whatever you want to call them. But trainers is what we call them over here in the UK. So here we have them. They're absolutely beautiful. I personally think these are one of the best looking, almost most futuristic kind of trainers. And there's something about a trainer that can go all the way up to high top and still look really, really good. Maybe that started with a Converse back in the day, but here we have the Kobe's that released some time ago. At the back end of his career, But obviously whereas his game might have been taken off just a little bit, his shoe game was spot on. We know he used to put a lot of effort into the shoes. Let's start from the bottom. So here, if you look at the pattern, let's get a close-up of that. So this pattern is like a fingerprint, but and as you know, a fingerprint gives you a lot of grip, right? So it will help you sort of climb and grip things. But actually, what it is, when I researched it, is actually to do with the impressions that the foot makes when it puts pressure on a surface. So you've got some imprints of what would be the toes, and as you know here, on the ball of your foot is where you put the most pressure. So what I would get from this is that because of that, it would give the most support to the areas where the foot presses down most against the ground, therefore enhancing your grip. It's got channels, and these channels, they're not a million miles deep, but they're deep enough to give really good traction. And on that point, this is one of the best tractions for any trainers I've ever played in. In fact, I think the best for me, actually, personally. I reviewed some Jordan 6 rings. Those were really, really good. These are just a tad better, so you get that squeakiness when you play with these. So if you're used to making fast cuts and quick stops, these are definitely the sneakers for you. Right, what else? If we're moving up from the bottom, over here on the arch support, this is like part of the midsole, and towards the back we've got what looks like, it's a carbon fibre heel sort of a lockdown plate. So the back, if you look at as it comes towards the upper, there's a number of different materials used in these trainers. But towards the back, you can see they're kind of coming up into sort of a knitted and sort of hyperfused top. But if you look at the material, it can move around quite a lot in terms of flexibility. But in a footbed, you need stability, especially in the heel if you're trying not to roll your ankle. So on that point, there is an outrigger. If you can see that, it's a small outrigger, but it protrudes just a little bit. But sometimes on outriggers, they don't need to be huge. But also, another thing to stop you from rolling your ankle is by trying to lock down the heel. And these carbon fibre inserts, plates at the back, give you that lockdown for the heel, stop the heel from sliding around so you don't go over on your ankle. Moving up into the upper, it's a knitted, meshed and hyperfuse, or hyper-knit rather. So it's got hyper-knit, but it's also got some hyperfused bits where it's, they haven't used knitting to join the flyknit with this is almost like a sort of a light plasticky material, but it's got like a graphite design to it. So I love the artistry of these trainers in the fact that they've used so many different things come together. I mean, even down to the patterns of the hyper knit, the mixture of materials. They really are premium trainers. If we're just looking on the inside, in here it's very plush. It's a lovely smooth material, so you're going to feel it really nice around your feet. And just behind the tongue here it says Inspire. Now, on a number of the different designs of this trainer, some of them might, this one says Inspire. I can't remember what some of the words are used in some of the others, but there's like all sorts of different sort of inspirational words in this. This one's Inspire. Moving towards the back, so I never met Kobe, but I did see him play once. May he rest in peace. Now, when he released these trainers, he was coming off of an injury. He'd actually tore his Achilles tendon. I can still remember the game where he did that. So these red lines at the back, these are the stitches that he received when he had that Achilles tendon repair. Another reason why these trainers vibe with me so much is because I actually had an Achilles tear as well in my foot, and I had the same stitches. And it's actually a reason about why I can only wear certain types of trainers, ones that are quite soft. I prefer a higher, sort of mids to high tops, because it gives me that ankle support and that confidence. I know some people prefer lows, I prefer highs. And so with these, they're high tops, but for me to have high tops, they can't be rigid at the back, like say Air Force Ones, for example. I need something that's flexible. And these are flexible at the back. So Kobe needed that just the way I do. So again, another reason why I really, really love these trainers, because it takes into consideration that flexible back that you need, yet it's still high enough to give you some ankle support. Looking on the inside, let's have a look on the inside. So this might surprise you a little. So the tongue stays in place. Just trying to get the insole there. Right, so the tongue stays in place because it's effectively a sock. So you've got what is effectively a sort of a mid-train which comes up to here, and the tongue is integrated, and the sock kind of comes all the way down into sort of this area here. And then sitting in the bed of the trainer is an insert. Now these aren't the original inserts. So I have bought a number of Nikes. The original ones that came with these Kobe's are these ones here. They're very light. It's a foam. There's no cushioning in these to speak of, other than the material itself does have some flex to it. So there is some cushioning, but it's not an air system in here. Now, in the actual sneakers themselves, there is some cushioning in here, very, very thin. There's not a lot to it. So I know Kobe like to have that court feel. So when you add these, which effectively makes up the midsole, so it's a drop-in midsole they call it, but you could actually swap it out. So because this didn't give me enough cushion and they were quite low to the ground, I had to actually swap in one of my other Nikes midsoles that actually gave me a bit more cushion. So for example, these ones here I got out some Jordans I had customized from Nike ID, and in the front it's got zoom, and in the back it's got air, and so that's my favorite combination. I don't mind zoom going all the way through, or having air at the back for sort of when you're landing hard, and zoom for responsiveness on the forefoot part of the trainer. So I like to drop these in. Yeah, there's not a lot of difference. Both of these were made with drop-in midsoles. Now, the good thing about the Kobe ones, if you're going with the originals, is they've got these little protruding blocks here. They're very small, but what they're designed to do actually is to give you a lot of grip, so your foot's not sliding around. So once you drop this into your trainer and you're wearing it, so the foot's not sliding around, these little protruding nubs here, foam blocks, even I guess you can call them, will provide you some stability, so that you're not sliding around too much. So that's that. So that's what I did with the insoles. You could do the same. You can try and swap different things in. Another reason I swapped in actually some different ones was to get a bit more arch support, because I've got flat feet and I need some arch support, and that was an issue that I had with these. Not sure if you'll have them. Everybody's foot is different, but I needed a bit of extra arch support as well. And I like my zooms in the front. But these do give you a good connection with the court, just because they've got a relatively low profile. Weight-wise, they're actually quite light. So despite their height, they're actually very, very light. They are breathable as well, because you've got this flyknit, and flyknit is going to give you the ability to actually have air moving through the sneakers, that it's not too sweaty in there for you. Moving on to the eyelets at the front, Hypernit is such a tough material. So these eyelet holes have got, how can I call them? It's almost like a suspension sort of design. So it comes from the flyknit, and then you can see each, well, it might be hard for you to see, but each eyelet has got a loop around it, which comes out of the flyknit, and that gives you ability that once you pull the laces tight, it's going to give you a really good lock in actually. And with these, because they're high tops, you can come all the way to the top. At the front, we've got the sheath and sword logo, which we covered earlier, and it says it's got Kobe signature at the top. And again, this whole tongue section, especially for these sneakers, have been used as a bed for some fascinating designs. So if you check out all the different Kobe nines, they're all going to have not only the different sort of words on the inside, but they're also going to have a slightly different design on the tongue, which is a really great sort of unique feature. So some might appeal more to you than others. And also towards the main part of the tongue, you can actually see, you won't be able to see it, I don't think, too well on camera. Maybe did, I'm not sure, but basically there's some cut out holes in the tongue. One that saves weight, two that aids the breathability as well, because that's going to be the main area that your foot's going to basically need to breathe and have all that air coming up whilst you're playing and getting hot and sweaty. Looking at the upper, at the back here at the top, it says KB 9th. It's not something, in some trainers you might have some features that might rub off or something. This is actually woven into the stretchy flyknit materials, that's never coming off. Obviously KB standing for Kobe and 9th standing for his 9th edition with Nike, because I believe he started with Adidas trainer. Up here, there's a little round circle section, and that's about just a bit around where your sort of ankle sits, the bone of your ankle on the lateral side of the shoe. And it's just, I think, a nice sort of design. Obviously, as your foot's moving around, it actually provides the sock the ability to move with you, because what you don't want is to have a rigid sock up here that then can cause you some issues. So like I said earlier, it's quite supple and it can move around with your foot and also get that lockdown from the laces. A part that I forgot is there's actually more carbon fibre here at the front. So that's just going to help with the lateral stability of your foot as it moves around. But with the Hyperfuse, the flyknit, this carbon fibre bit at the side, the outrigger here on the lateral side again, you're going to be well locked in to these, really. You're going to be well locked in. Some trainers, again, at the front, sometimes they come a little bit unstuck, and that's a bit unfortunate. These, I've worn these a bunch, and to be honest, they look as good as they are new. So they're super good quality and durable, and it seems like there's a very small chance of anything coming out at the front, to be honest. So these are just some really good all-round trainers. In terms of playing on them, like I said, they're light. You can stop and go real quick. They look good. Not everyone needs to hoop, and sometimes I would not mix my hooping trainers with what I might wear on the street. But these are so good, so durable, so sexy. On occasion, I have laced them up with some joggers and just walked around them, and they've looked good. And I've still got my grip intact there, so they really are quite durable. So you can wear them every day if you want. But I hoop in them and I do rotate my trainers. Just going back to the grip, another thing I noticed is you do sometimes get some stones that can be stuck in between these channels, but they come out real easy. But like I said, because the grip is so good, you barely even notice something like that. It doesn't pick up a lot of debris on the bottom, to be honest. If you look, they look clean. So this really is one of the best traction patterns I've ever seen, and I'm surprised that Nike or other trainer manufacturers haven't sort of followed suit and thought, we need to put this on the bottom of our trainers because it just grips so well. So I love playing in them. I even actually got 2 pairs of these. Maybe I'll do a review on the other one. So the other one is an EXT, which is more of the sort of the fashion side actually, and so as opposed to being highs, they're actually mids. They're actually one of my favourites, but they're not designed to play in actually. They're actually more sort of fashion trainers, and so these ones are more sort of a hooping, but they might be interesting to you guys. They're like Kobe EXT. I've got sort of, it's black on black. It's, these ones here is got a whole bunch of wacky colours going on, as is the case with this range of Kobe 9s. They've got all sorts of psychedelic colours, and I think it's great because trainers aren't just something you wear to hoop in. It's a lifestyle choice. It's an individual statement about who you are, about who the name behind the shoes are, who Kobe is. And so this one, looking at it, we've got orange going on. We've got sort of like a neon yellow against the black and the graphite with flashes of red. For example, at the back as well. And then we've got this kind of orange at the bottom. So yeah, these are great. I hope you love them. If you love Kobe, you probably love these. these are great in a number of different ways. I think they represent everything that Kobe is about: the quality of the trainer, the durability of them, the fact they look good. You know, I mean, if you look at Kobe's jump shot, he looked good as he used to fade away. Yet he's putting in hard work, be it on the court, in the game, or back at the gym when he's training. So I think these are a real good embodiment, and this is a great way for me to remember the man, the hooper, playing a game that I really love. If you're a big fan of Kobe, what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can get yours. Maybe you've already decided you want to get them, you just want to hear more information, or maybe you're not sure, so check out my review to really see what I think, and perhaps that might influence what you think about them. I'll leave that to you, but I'll leave a link in the description below for you to go and get your Kobe 9 Elites. But there you have it. If you like the content, do drop a like. It does help the channel. Do share if you know anyone else that's interested in Kobe's or looking around for Kobe's and they're like, oh, what Kobe's are really good. I'd say these, obviously there are other good Kobe's, but these ones are special and close to my heart. And do subscribe so you get notified of when new content comes out. So therefore, you need to ring that bell. Please do that. And thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you next time.